Hi, everyone. This is Dan Bauman. I'm doing this webinar on behalf of NARI in their personal development seminar. So welcome, everyone. I'm on the call here with Chad Gilman and Tim Berg. They're both with LP Building Solutions, and Chad is a territory sales rep for repair and remodel, and Tim is a territory sales rep, repair and remodel as well. You guys, thanks for being on the call. I think without much further delay, we'll just go ahead and have you get started with your presentation. I know you've got a lot of things that you're going to cover today, so I'll just turn it over to you, Chad. I think you've got the slideshow, and you're going to be doing the talking.
Thank you very much, Dan. And we first and foremost, Tim and I both want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy day to join us today. Hopefully we give you a lot of good new information and tidbits about a really exciting rollout within our company. We've had some transitions over the last year. We went from being known as LP Building Products to LP Building Solutions, and I think one of the really great things about that is we're coming out with products that we're being asked for in the marketplace, and one of them that we're going to present today is on our engineered wood SmartSide panel. And it basically, when I'm asked what is SmartSide, I tell everybody it's basically taking all of the beauty and aesthetics that wood has to offer, as well as the convenience of being able to paint it, to be able to nail it and be able to cut it, because it is wood, without all the hassles of it rotting and decaying and having all of the problems that we associate with cedar and other hardboards of the like. So we're going to be talking about Expert Finish today, as well as where it's rolling out today and in the future. And we just really appreciate you guys being here today. We are a publicly traded company, and basically have more than 28 mills across the U.S. with more than 5,000 employees. I'm sorry, 28 mills total in North America with over 5,000 employees. We have 17 mills in the U.S. Many of our mills are located in the Midwest here, because the aspen or poplar tree that is predominantly utilized in our SmartSide siding is very abundant in these areas. We do try to do most of the harvesting. We actually work with loggers across the country, and we try to get most of our raw material from within about 90 miles of all of the mills. We do have one of the mills located here in Two Harbors, Minnesota, as well as several in Wisconsin and Michigan. In addition to that, we have a couple of them in Chile and in Brazil, and now we've launched into the pre-finish side of the business, and we have 3 of those particular facilities in the U.S. What's really exciting about this launch is to finally have our own specific 16 colors. It allows us to do additional marketing. One of the things that our customers, whether it be the contractors and or the distribution network, they have done an unbelievably great job of getting our product out into the market and giving it a lot of validity. And in order for us to take that next step and move it forward, we needed to have a finish program, because not every part of the country is as strong as the Midwest as far as pre-finishers are concerned. And in addition to that, some larger national builders were requiring this, and it's been a very exciting journey, and we're just at the beginning here. One thing that you'll notice throughout I guess throughout the different slides that I have is how everything kind of fits together, whether it be this marketing piece that you're seeing, or it be our bifold and or our in-home presentation materials. Everything fits together nicely to tell the story and to tell its differentiation from other pre-finished LP products. Now, we still fully support all of our third-party pre-finishers, and we just have a couple of unique opportunities within this Expert Finish line that is we think very helpful for the job site, as well as very helpful for the finished product.
So real quick, do you guys do custom colors too, or is it what you see is what you get?
That is a great question. No, we do not. We don't do any custom colors. We've got
Okay.
16 standard colors
Okay.
for the siding itself, and in the 8-inch textured that's available right now, as well as we're going to be adding a few different profiles in there coming up, and we have five of those 16 colors are also our trim colors. So definitely a great question, and a limited program that we believe has a lot of validity for several businesses out there that are looking for the opportunity to not have to overcommit themselves as far as the amount that they want to bring onto a job site, and have the easeability if they do damage a piece or run short, that they can easily get it.
So how does the, I hope you don't mind if I ask questions in between your
No,
slides
not
here.
at all.
No, but how does the LP finish compare to the diamond coat?
That's a great question. The Diamond Coat is a very strong partner of ours, and it's an excellent product. It has automotive grade pigments just like ours, but they definitely have a different process that is very unique in the industry. I believe that the warranties themselves differ from each other some, and just the overall process of the way ours is applied versus theirs, and the way theirs is baked. I mean, it's definitely two individual processes there.
I think there'll be a couple things too, Dan, that we have partners like Wausau or Diamond Coat that do a lot of unique things with re-engineering the product and adding accessories and whatnot. I think as we go through the slides, you'll see a few different versions as far as something a little bit more simplified, so that product is on the ground, available, unique in that aspect for the contractor in both distribution and dealers out there that differentiate it. The other thing is somebody like Wausau is stocking our expert finish. They have brought that in addition to their Diamond Coat. So
Okay.
I think from a cost perspective also, you'll hear different terms out there, but I think Wausau brought it in looking at like a Chevy Cadillac type situation, where they really feel that their Diamond Coat is the high end story that's above any other story, but still wants something to be competitive and unique out there too with our expert finish product.
Okay. I assume the price points reflect that Chevy Cadillac analogy that you just gave. Okay.
Yep, and they have another product that they're rolling out in addition to that, which is a printed on product that is going to be available for exteriors as well as interior finishes. So they've got really what they consider their good, better, best type of scenario. And like I said in the beginning here, we work hand in hand with all those pre-finishers, and 80% of the market is captured by custom color. And we're just trying to do a few different things with this particular program. While we're providing more SmartSide brand awareness through color, we also have an additional piece to it that we'll show here in a bit. But
Okay.
We're also trying to relieve some of the pressure on the pre-finishers that is very real. Every year in the fall, especially, the lead times get stretched out because there's just not enough capacity to keep up with the demand of all those custom colors. So providing a package solution, we believe, is going to be the first step in really helping out the marketplace to keep our remodelers being able to move. With our SmartSide Expert Finish Trim and Siding, it is an automotive grade pigment. We will be talking about the paint here in the next slide, but those automotive grade pigments are much different than we're going to see at the big box stores and or Sherwin-Williams and places like that, and thus in a controlled setting, we're able to apply the paint and have it perform over a much longer period of time. What is it going to offer to homeowners and contractors? I think the two highlighted items, advanced durability in both material and long-lasting curb appeal, as well as peace of mind, really fit hand in hand with what contractors are trying to provide to their homeowners and what homeowners their expectations are. And we feel that those are two items that we can definitely identify and help both parties out greatly with this particular program. We as a company decided to utilize Axalta paint. They're actually a company that purchased Valspar and very large. They've been in the industry for over 35 years. And one of the big reasons, through lots of different testing, because they had many different choices to go through, that they found this particular paint did an exceptional job on the peaks and the valleys. One of the things with the siding, and Tim, if you could hold that up, you'll notice that there's definite peaks and valleys or wood grain on our product. We also are going to be coming out with a smooth product that we'll be painting in the latter part of the year. But those peaks and valleys, it's really important to not have to overspray them so you don't have blistering and cracking and things like that. And this particular paint works in great conjunction with the primer, which is Axalta on our product and has been for the past 10 plus years. So feel it's a great partnership between both of these, and the one real unique aspect that we've been able to work out with Axalta is all of the paint that we're receiving is going to be pre-mixed. We're not going to be mixing any colors at the facilities. Thus, it will save us time as far as being able to pull one vat and put one bunk on at a time. In addition to that, they have guaranteed that they're going to stay within one Delta Hunter unit of each paint batch. So if you get our products painted at any one of the 3 facilities, they're going to match up, whether it's in 2020 or 2022. If it's the same color that we've been mixing, it will remain that way. So feel that there's some definite advantages in that, and it allows us some unique flexibility when we need to pull from different facilities.
Cool. So it's easy to touch up. I mean, you can get the paint readily along with the order to touch up.
So the touch up, we'll get into that
Okay.
as we move through. But that's a great question. We are going to require that it is from our touch up kits to go along with this particular paint, but they will be readily available through distribution as well as the dealer network that is out there.
Cool.
So this slide just depicts where the current locations are pre-finishing, and we purchased the PSPI facility in Green Bay, Wisconsin, at the upper portion of the map here, and as well as the St. Louis facility was an old Cedar Creek paint facility. It's not even that old; it's only 5 years old. In addition to that, our Roaring River, North Carolina facility has been converted back to being a paint facility. It used to be, I believe, in the days of ABTCO, a paint facility, and then it was converted into being a fiber line for us. We are getting out of producing fiber, and all of our products are going to be produced in strand. There may be a few of the products that don't get to move along with us in the strand conversion, but we feel as though the strand product is a much easier product for everybody to work with, as far as the lap and all of the other accessory products that go along with it.
So what do you mean by strand versus fiber? What the strand is like OSB type material?
Strand is like OSB material, and the biggest difference is the process as well as the size of the flakes. Our product is an engineered wood, and each one of those flakes are about the same size as a credit card or a business card, and they're all coated in our SmartGuard process, which consists of our MDI resin, our marine grade waxes, our zinc borate, and then all of those are layered up in a north, south, east, west. Each layer is in a differing direction so that we can control the growth of it. And it has a paper overlay on it. And it basically is like taking a piece of wood and injecting it with steroids with all of the different things that we've done to ensure that it will not rot or have fungal decay, and or that the zinc borate helps out with that, as well as for termites, then the marine grade wax is protected on all the edges. This is an example of the different products that are going to be available in the Expert Finish line. Right now, the one that's readily available is our 8-inch lap, or our 8-inch cedar lap. That is our lap that everybody's very familiar with in our wood grain. In addition to that, you'll have your trims in 4 of the 5 colors right now. The only one that's not available is Terra Brown, which will be coming available. Tim, is that going to be available in July?
Yeah, July.
Okay. So that'll be available in July, and much of the distribution network has third-party pre-finishers that are painting that up. So you can have a complete job as it sits today. There are other items on here that aren't available today, but are coming, and we'll talk about those briefly. But as it sits right now in the Midwest, the 8-inch lap is available, and all of the 5/4 by 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, as well as the 4/4 trims are available in this marketplace, as well as the batten strips. Tim, do you have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in before you go through this in a little greater detail, in being the fact that we have people possibly from different parts of the country that are on the call. Right. Chad and I, being based out of Minnesota, we really started off with this launch in January in the Midwest, or what we consider the Midwest and North Central. You're going to look at basically a 3-tiered process with launching this Expert Finish program, and you're going to basically have the East Coast taking on orders late this year into 4th quarter, taking product in, and really the turn of the year next year for the West Coast. So, don't want to mislead anybody on the line as far as when we're talking about availability. We're really speaking to our immediate market in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa. So
yeah, and just so you guys know that are on the call, as part of the NARI group here, I asked, hey, if we can just bring in other people besides our local NARI, and they said sure. So I sent a note out to my list, my email list, and so some of you probably are out of the area, but I assume it's going to come to the United States, all the United States over time, right?
Absolutely.
That last slide where the area was highlighted, is that the area where it's available right now?
Yeah, so I should have covered that a little bit clearer. That is the distribution network that it's available in right now.
Okay.
The next place it's going to be moving is into the east and southeast portion of the country, and after that it's going to be moving west.
Got it. Cool. So
here's one of the biggest differentiating portions of the new product. And Tim, if you can hold that up, it's very unique in the sense that the Expert Finish is going to have its own Expert Finish lap. That particular joint is going to take the place of metal H molds and or any need to back or pan flash these. In addition to that, it is only going to be available on our Expert Finish, and I want to make sure I make that clear, only because I've been asked several times, is it going to be available in primed? No, it is not going to be available in primed for the time being. It is not going to be available to any other pre-finisher besides us and our Expert Finish at this time. There are definitely a couple of small items that need to be followed as far as the installation portion of it. We still require the 3/16 inch gap on this particular product, and that's because of the way that it acclimates. The siding itself, it doesn't expand and contract. It comes out of our factories at about a 6% moisture content. Once it's out at the job site, it will only, when it's installed on the house, it'll only acclimate up to 17 to 19%. It will never reduce the amount of moisture content that's in it. Thus, we need to have that controlled gap of 3/16 to allow that to expand. And with that, we also require on the job site When you're done for the day, we're asking everybody to always cover the product back up, because if you leave it wide open and exposed, it can begin to acclimate. Thus, it's not closing up those gaps or those seams. The benefits of having half of this have like a shiplap to the XpertLap itself are it has the small 3/16 inch gap line on it, the Expert line. In addition to that, it's about half of the width of the siding itself, and that controls some of the shadowing that you can get, especially if you're utilizing a pan or backflash of the square edge product. We find it most helpful on the lighter colors. Some of the lighter colors at times have a tendency to really accent the shadow or the butt edge until it closes up. So we believe it's going to be a time saving as well, because they're not going to have to take one extra piece and be addressing it. If you're installing this and you have your starter course, you need to cut that edge off and run that at a 3/16 to the inside or outside corners. So it's not meant to be where the finish is gonna be, such as an inside or outside corner or in between windows, but it definitely is going to have a time saving for your row. This is a job that Tim and I got to go out to shortly after this was installed. The greatest part about our engineered wood, our SmartSide product, is in comparison to like a fiber cement, it installs about 20% faster in a side-by-side test that we just ran. In addition, we found with this new XpertLap that your overall consistency for your 3/16 inch gapping is much greater. And we weren't asking anything unusual of this particular crew that was out doing this. We just wanted to take a bird's eye look at it once they got more than one wall done to see how much more consistent their work could be. One of the things that's pretty near and dear to my heart, I was a supply rep for a number of years and have been working with this product. And my concern was always, it didn't feel like we had a consistent tool in a touch-up kit for our subs to be able to utilize on the job and have great success. I'm really excited that we took the leap and made sure that we not only have a touch-up bottle, but this particular bottle is unique in the sense that it's easily grabbable. It's like an oversized shampoo bottle, and it has a flip top. Now, the reason why it is so important that you can hold on to this bottle is you really need to shake these paints up in much greater order than you would any of the other paints that you might get at Home Depot, Menards, things like that, because with it having automotive grade pigments, they're much heavier. And what I continually see at job sites is people that would have a small quart can of paint, they'd give it a couple of shakes and that clear liquid would be off the top, and then they'd start utilizing it to do the touch up. Well, that doesn't work. It has a flash, it flashes off and makes the jobs not look so well. In addition to that, I love the flip top because it allows us to easily fill up our two touch-up bottles. And the first one right here is meant for your larger cut edges, such as the end cuts or going above windows and doors and things like that. And the top of it is not simply it's not simply a foam pad on top of this like a dauber would be at a bingo hall, but it's actually a polyester. It's got a polyester product on it, and it makes it so you can go over a number of these sharp surfaces that get cut over and over again without it breaking down. In addition to that, they actually came out with caps to go over the top of it. So now we have our best installer typically our best installer is the one that's doing all the touch-up, that has the tools necessary to do a great job. In addition to the larger dauber, we have a smaller one, and that's for your finer areas such as your nail heads and any of your high point rubs. And there are times that when crews carry the product and rub it up against each other, that they can get a little bit of the top surface of that wood grain to just slightly rub off. This pen style touch-up kit really makes it easier to lightly touch up that area. And the one thing that we know from years of working with different pre-finishers and or installers is that less is more when it comes to touch-up. And the fact that this particular touch-up kit allows us to do those finer areas in a controlled manner really makes the success of the job much easier to
those
attain.
are nice. Those would really make it easier.
And this gets back to your question, Dan, from earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
This does contain our Axalta paint, and it's directly the same paint that we're utilizing on the lines. And this is the only touch-up that can be used to touch up our painted product.
Okay.
It will need to be ordered with the job also, Dan. So it's not something that's going to just automatically get shipped out with the job. It will need to be ordered along with your material.
Just kind of like ordering nails. You got to order them separate, right?
Yep, and we're having great conversation with all of the dealers as well as distribution dealer reps as well as contractors about that. But we're just trying to get everybody on board. I think the other thing that I am absolutely ecstatic about is there are actual touch-up instructions inside these kits. Okay. And they are going to be available in four more languages. So we're going to have that shortly. We got to see the prototype of those, and we've got a lot of different areas of the country and a lot of different subs from different countries and different languages, and it is essential that we give people the right tools and right communication to help them have a great job.
So it looks like the whole process is hidden fasteners, so you don't need colored nails or anything like that, right?
So most of the job is going to be a hidden fastener because it's going to lap over the next panel. The only time that you'll typically have an exposed nail head is either on trim and or you're finishing rows that are diving into your soffits.
Okay. Do those come colored? Do those come colored, or do you use a touch-up?
No, that's where this new the finer touch-up pen. Can you see where my cursor is right now? Yep. That's where that one really comes into play. There have been other tried methods of touching up those areas, such as instructing them to use the cigarette butt, instructing them to use a Q-tip, touch-up pens that were preloaded that would actually create an electrostatics charge that would draw the paint away instead of sealing it down on top of the nail head. So they've really come up with this wicking system with the best method that I've gotten to see in my last 20 years.
That makes sense. How do the colors stand up in the sun?
They stand up very well. We have a 5. Tim, it's a 5 Hunter unit, correct? Or 5 Delta unit. We're going to get to the warranty here in a second, and we can kind of talk about those items. But color suggestions chart. Main reason why this just jogs me to say that there are a number of different metals out there, as well as different manufacturers' metals, I should say, that this does come into being a close match with. So if you have a job and you want to do metal soffit and fascia, you have the ability to do so. And in addition to that, it has been matched up with OSI caulking, and we just need to make sure that we covered every edge of this to ensure that the houses look fantastic when they get done. Here's kind of where the rubber meets the road. I think one of the coolest parts about having Expert Finish is the fact that now our engineered wood, our LP Smart side, it's 550 warranty, has one additional key in it, and it's the 515. So for 5 years, not only the finish, but the siding itself is covered bumper to bumper. So that would mean anything that you would need to make that job whole again is covered, whether that's a dumpster, pulling a permit, have an electrician come out because you had to remove and replace something. All the little things that add up into a job are covered. And one of the great parts about Minnesota, and I don't want to miss this part, is our products in our state take a beating, especially in the Midwest here, but Minnesota in particular. If you think back to the winter of 2018 or 2018, 2019, we had a 150-degree temperature swing. We got down in the 50 plus below, and it hit 98 degrees. So
I remember that.
Our products, they get abused, they get stressed out. So if there is any abnormality with the product or the coating itself, it's going to show up in the first couple of seasons. That's the beauty of living up here. And the thing that I'm so excited about with our products are they withstand the test of time. They withstand the elements. They do great in freeze thaw, which is really important in the Midwest here. Any of the products need to be able to stand up to that freeze thaw.
Bill has a question. How does the black color stand up to the heat cold transition?
The stands up. You know what? It stands up really well. We haven't had any problems with it. I know the pre-finisher that we had purchased had black colors, and they haven't had any issues with it either in the past. Great question though, and this 515 warranty that you see. So you have your first 5 years are bumper to bumper. Your 6 to 15 are prorated, and that's prorated on labor and material. One of the things that is very unique is we utilize an outside agency called RS Means to ensure that all of these are equitable across the U.S. We utilize RS Means to contact three painters within a particular zip code that the problem is actually happening. So we don't just have a set dollar amount, because it may be more expensive in Minneapolis than it is in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, or vice versa. And we want to make sure that homeowner is made whole in those instances. In addition, this warranty has one thing that I haven't seen from any of the other pre-finishers yet, and unless somebody tells me differently on this particular call, we actually have transferability with the warranty itself. So for you remodelers, it would transfer one time from that original homeowner. If you're a builder, and I know a number of builders that actually live in the home that they just built and then sell it within a couple of years, or you build a house and then it takes a little bit. You'd actually have two times of transferability on that. So it's a great opportunity that especially for our remodelers that run into the homeowners, that particular house would be perfect to have this solution on there for a great curb appeal and great resale. But that homeowner says, gosh, I'm going to be moving in 3 years. Well, that warranty goes right along with the sale of the home for the next homeowner. And it takes away one of those hurdles that we run into. Any questions come out about that?
Not so much about that. I had one from Joe about product in Canada. Is that going to be available in Canada at any point?
I don't know that it will be available in Canada. At least we haven't been made aware of that yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
there's no specific launch date for Canada that I'm aware of at the moment.
Okay. Then cost per square foot, I'm sure, are you going to talk about that?
No, actually, we're not going to cover any of the costs. That'll be something that they'll want to get from their suppliers.
Okay.
And we just don't cover any of that. Sorry about that.
Well, it's okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not your job to cover the cost. Can you give a range of comparability to, some other forms of materials where you might come in, price range wise?
It's going to be similar to your fiber cements.
Okay.
And it's going to be more expensive than vinyl.
Sure, that makes sense.
Some of the packaging that they're doing with this is it's really state of the art. The nice part with the lap siding will be packaged in 6 pieces per pack, and each one of the individual, whether it's individual pieces of lap or individual trim pieces, will have some date coding as well as time, date. Everything will be stamped on there. In case we do run into an issue, we'll be able to fix it quickly. In addition, it really will help out the suppliers to be able to identify colors without having to tear open any of these packs. So it'll be helpful for them. And currently, our trims are being packaged in either a 2 or a 4 pack, and that will be changed up in the coming months here because one of our facilities is getting some new equipment. So they will be changing, I think, everything to 2 packs moving forward for any of the trim pieces. This is just basic storage and handling. We had to create new pallets for this particular product because we added a little extra with the shiplap. We didn't want to take away any of the face on the product. So we came up with new pallets and new procedures, as well as this is showing how it's sheathed and protected.
What kind of lengths do they come in?
All of our siding and our trim it's all in 16-foot lengths.
Okay.
So your standard lap and your standard trim is 16 footers. Now your corners, which we'll talk about briefly. We're gonna have 10-foot corners available in 5/4 by 4 inch and 5/4 by 6 inch in 5 of the colors. In addition, we have a 16-inch vertical siding that is 16 inches wide by 16 feet tall. That is utilized for especially a lot of the taller peaks that we see requiring board and batten. And you see it a lot in the new construction areas where they're utilizing that as a cost-effective means to really give it a curb appeal. So right now, as we talked about earlier, we've got the 8-inch textured lap in all 16 colors. In addition to that, we have our inside corners, which are 5/4 by 2 inch trim in all 16 colors available. All sizes of 5/4 inch trim are available in white, black, sand, and quarry. And we will have the Terra Brown out in July. In addition, we have the 4 and the 6 inch mitered outside corner posts right now in white. We also have textured soffit. We have our 3/8 inch panels, which are 4x8s and 4x10s in white right now, and 4/4 trim are in 4, 6, and 8 inch in white, black, sand, and quarry. Those can be utilized for board and batten. We see that some of the time. In addition, it's utilized with our panel product all the time. So it also shows that we have our touch-up kits in all 16 colors.
So are those outside mitered corners put together already in the L shape?
Yes, they are. Okay. They're put together already. They just don't have a nail fin on them, so they'll be getting secured right on the outside of the board itself. Coming in July, we've got the rest of the 5/4 and 4/4. So it's our Terra Brown that will be coming available, as well as our 3-inch batten strips will be available in all the trim colors, which was 5 trim colors. You got 4x8s and 4x10s in all the trim colors, and then your vertical siding panel in all trim colors. The one item that is coming that we've been asked about quite a bit lately is our 6-inch textured lap siding is going to be available in all 16 colors in July. And it's being produced It's just when it gets ordered, it'll begin getting ordered in mid-June and be available sometime mid-July. And then that's when all of your 4-inch and your 6-inch mitered corners will be available in all the trim colors.
So I got a question here from Rich. He says we have a board and batten project coming up in Monmouth, Virginia. We plan to use the cedar texture 3/8 by 4x10 panels. What trim batten strips do you recommend? And at the given width of your preferred batten, what uncenter spacing of those?
For the board and batten, I know typically we see a lot of 4/4 for batten strips, as well as we do.
Especially on panel, you see a lot of the 4/4 used, and spacing can really vary on your install, and also going to be based on whether you're trying to, you're putting panel up and you're hitting stud as far as that spacing, but you have a APA approved series panel at that point. As far as your spacing is really up to you, and design, as far as the look goes, nailing through that panel. So really no specific recommendation that we would have a requirement for the batten strips themselves.
The battens can be placed as wherever you like, pretty much.
Yes. Okay. Yep, they're more decorative than anything else. We also have more items coming, and this is kind of rounding out our line. The one thing that you'll notice, if you look at our literature, if you look at the bifold that we're going to show just a brief picture of here shortly, is that it says that what the entire line is going to cover. And I've had a lot of questions. Well, why would it show what the entire line is going to cover right now if it's not all available? And it simply goes back to, we needed to put together this for marketing to ensure that we had a very consistent program, and we've had to communicate the timing of everything as it comes out. In September, we'll see the textured J blocks in all 16 colors, the mini splits in all 16 colors. In addition to that, your 5/4 and 4/4. See, here's where we're going to differ a little bit from this slide. We're probably not going to see the smooth siding and or trim available in a pre-finish from us in our expert finish until late 2020, early 2021. But it is available as we speak through Wausau, the Diamond Coat product that you had asked about earlier, Dan. And they do a great job. You'll just want to touch base with your supplier and get pricing for that prior to putting it all together. But it is definitely available from them. We just haven't had it available in our line yet. In addition to that, we are going to have our strand shake available in all 5 trim colors, and that's going to be a newer product to our family of products. And we're moving out of fiber, like we talked about briefly in the beginning, and moving everything into strand, and some of the reasons why, which we'll get into that transition. But in all sincerity, the strand product is just much easier to work with, much sturdier, much easier to carry around a job site without doing any damage to it and or any damage prior to it getting out to a job site. So it's just a more manageable solution.
So that shake going to come in panels? Oh, there it is.
The shake is right here. So yeah. It is going to look just like our very similar to our old, and it is a reversible shake. You've got a straight and a staggered edge to it. The one significant difference that aesthetically that you'll see are none of the fake knots. Our previous product had really heavy inset knots, as well as the wood grain itself. The wood grain itself is more alike to all of our lap and panels. It's not as deep, and it's not as deep because the old fiber technology is a wet technology that allows us to basically mold that product, whereas this is a pressed product. The side of it that is much better for the installers is it's all blind fastened. We're very unique in comparison to other hardboard solutions that are out there, in that our 12-inch product can be blind nailed. It does not need to be face nailed unless you are on an extreme wind area that requires some extra fastening. You don't need it with our products. Some of the things that we were doing, especially prior to COVID, we had a number of different magazines and publications that we were advertising. We're not just specifically calling out Expert Finish, but we are naming the different siding and the colors that are out there today, and really in an effort to hopefully drive homeowners direct to the contractor and have those homeowners have some education along the way. Some of the sales tools that are available in the top right corner here is our bifold. It's very nice and condensed. It has the majority of the information that we talked about today in the left panel, inclusive of the expert lap, the warranty itself, and then it has all of the colors on the right hand side. On the back of it, it actually has the detail of what the entire program will look like, with all of the trim offerings and all of the lap offerings, as well as panel and shake.
It makes for a great sales tool to have, to be able to reference knowing what colors are available and what SKU.
I'm not sure how well that shows up, but it's basic to all of the different portions in this line. Does follow hand in hand with this particular brochure, all of the detail once again, and we're just trying to reinforce all of those details, because first off, we're trying to give all of the selling tips in one easy sheet, so that you and the homeowner hopefully can take this journey and get the price or get the color. We like to keep it all concise to ensure that it has all the meat on it, but not so much that it gets people confused. The one item that I like the most is this particular fan deck. It is easy to carry into the home, as well as to have at your disposal, and it is actually the face of the siding that they've shaved it down to ensure that it would fit in a fan deck with actual paint. Everything is like it would be coming off the line, but it's not located in a box that a homeowner could pick one or two out of there, and then that box of samples is no good. So it's one area for disposal. The last thing that just got added, and I think Tim is showing it right now, is our small piece that shows the expert lap, as well as it pulls in all the different colors that are available, and it once again tips on all of the things that you find not only on the bifold but on the piece of literature. You all will see these at the different dealers, suppliers that are out there, and it's just a little bit larger piece that you can bring to the homeowner so that they can set it up against the house if need be. Not everybody's going to need this, but it's definitely there for their disposal, and it'll be helpful for those that need to touch and feel a little larger piece. We also really cleaned up our website and rebranded it and made it much more user friendly. Ours had been pretty antiquated. This one allows for that building solutions side of the equation to really come into play. The other area that we were lacking in was our visualizer. It just needed a refresh and an update. We work with Chameleon. They put together this site for us. Now, there's 3 different ways that this can be utilized. The first way is if they utilize the homes that have already been put in here and just change up the color schemes and the patterns of those homes, as well as the roof and some of the stone and the brick and things like that. The second way it can be utilized, a homeowner can take a picture of their home and input it and then mask it out by themselves. And the third way is homeowner and or remodeler or builder can take a picture and upload it and send it to their folks, and they'll mask it and send it back to you and I believe it's 24 to 48 hours. It may be slightly longer with the current situation that we're in, because they might be getting a lot more call for it, but it allows people to have a look at what their home is really going to look like after the fact. There are other services out there that many contractors utilize today, such as Hover, and that does give you a better rendering, but this gives you enough for most homeowners to be able to move forward with colors.
Yeah, I've tried that Hover app. It's pretty cool how it works. But there's a fee involved with that too. So you got to
and ours that you send in is a $20 fee. If you send it in and they ask it, it'd be $20. The fee itself is considerably more than that, but we're covering more than half of the bill.
Oh, okay. And does yours give the quantities and takeoffs and all that too?
It doesn't do the quantities. It just does. It does a peer masking. It does not. Where Hover is unique is it does a great job of cutting out all the trim and really gets into finer detail. And that's part of their 360 program, I believe. But it's definitely something that's unique to them. Here's an area for any of the builders and remodelers that are on the line, and it's a first-time trial offer for our Expert Finish, and it's up to $1,500. It's very easy to utilize. You can see on the website below, they simply go into the website, they choose the first-time offer for Expert Finish. They fill out the information, and it is a very seamless process in comparison to having to print off a bunch of stuff and then mail it in. And the only thing that you truly need is to have your invoice, have the ability to upload it, and then to fill in all of the information on the site itself. So I've actually helped a couple customers out with this, and my second one, it took me less than 5 minutes to do. Gives you a great opportunity to try the product.
Yeah, quick question on like you got corbels and things like that on these pictures up there. Do you guys supply regular paint that can be, you can paint those kind of accessories?
We don't. If you were looking to purely utilize Axalta on the whole house, you'd have to buy one of the kits, and those are quart bottles. The quart bottles will cover up to approximately 25 of the 5 4x4 boards, I was told. So it has a lot of coverage that it will take care of for you.
Okay. Or they could probably just have the color match too, I suppose.
Yep. That's definitely something that we will see is a fair amount of those accessory items such as that. More and more of the local, like Sherwin-Williams, place like that, they'll be utilizing our paint chips and making up some of their own colors. But once again, we just have to reiterate, we can't utilize that for touch-up on any of our painted products because it will void the warranty. The Build Smart program is something that if any of you guys have interest, it is a program that requires a few different things. We require an initial sign up, and then there is a class to attend, a training to attend. And basically, the great part with the Expert Finish is it's qualifying every contractor for 5 times the amount of points than in previous years, because to try out the Expert Finish, the program itself is utilized for marketing, and we've got a number of different resources available for it. So if anybody has any more or is interested in this, please reach out to Tim or myself, and we'll sit down with you and go through this. In a typical year, we do hold a fair amount of road show events as well as training events. Tim and I actually put together our mill tour up in the Two Harbors facility in February this year. Luckily, it was prior to everything happening. In addition to the mill tour this year, we had installation training events, which were a big hit. It basically helps cover best practices, and the folks that do these and put these on are the Cruz brothers. We actually have one coming up, and I believe, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's on May 21st. And this is going to be our first crack at doing a virtual one. The one thing that I've been amazed is the people that put these on are the Cruz brothers. They've been in the field. They've put up a lot of siding. They've ran numerous crews. They've dealt with it all. It's nice to have somebody that's been there, done that, hosting the class and teaching the class.
And this would be one of the courses or the class that Chad was referring to. And going back to that Build Smart program, you do need to attend one of these events, which is about a 3-hour class, and you go through and get a lot of detail, but one person from your company would need to attend this in order to follow through on the process of applying or registering for that Build Smart program to be a preferred contractor.
It's nice that you're offering training for all of this.
Yeah,
We should add on to that, Chad, and just real quick, I think that, depending upon the market, but nationwide, we do also have field techs, because when you talk about training, I take a lot of pride in it, working for a company that wants to make sure somebody uses our product. Hey, that's great, but the follow up and follow through on wanting to make sure that they do it right the first time, and not have the callbacks or the sticky situations with people not paying or frustrated homeowners. I know for us right in Minnesota, we have a field tech, Andreas Bautista, that's his full-time job. He is out there to train installers on the job site, to do a pre-job walkthrough, check on the job halfway through, or do a final walkthrough. But really his job in traveling a couple different states is making sure that contractors out there and their installers are really made aware of how to do things properly when it comes to the install, and also to have a great resource so when they are on a job site and they can get his contact or whatnot and reach out and make sure they're getting answers on the fly also. So
that's
a
great.
nice resource that we have, and make sure that you're aware of.
And
that's good.
I didn't know if I caught it or I missed it, Tim. Andreas Bautista, he's bilingual, so please reach out. I know that it's extremely important to be able to communicate with the crews properly, and he does a fantastic job in both English and Spanish out at the site.
Cool. And with smartphones and FaceTime, you can do it from anywhere, anytime, right?
You really can. The building up that trust between him and the crews. He finds that he gets a lot of calls when they do run into a situation, especially you build up that friendship with them. So it's a great resource. We talked about this right in the beginning. We are phasing out of the fiber products, and we are doing so as of April 1st. There has been an allocation put out for a number of panels that we've produced in the past, and we're phasing into an all-strand offering, which we talked about. The new LP strand shake is going to be available probably in this marketplace and or in the Midwest here in about mid-May. Orders have began to come in for it. There is enough of the strand shake to get us through a good portion of time, so we're in good shape that way, but it will be transitioning. The smooth siding and trim, our smooth vertical 16-inch panel, I believe it just came available, and then the smooth cut to width soffit at 16-inch, that's available right now. We do not have a vented smooth soffit as of yet, so if you were putting this in, you need to be putting in vents. We talked briefly about all the different availability of Expert Finish already, so that's all Tim and I had for today. I'm definitely open for any type of questions.
So your phase out is this April, or
it was this April?
It was April 1st. Okay.
Yep, it was April 1st.
Tim, I see you answered Jim's question about how well does the material cut. Do you need carbide tools or anything like that?
The major factor is, or what we pride ourselves on, is because it's a wood product, it's engineered wood. It cuts just like like wood. There's no special tools that are needed. No additional expense as far as prep work or something specialty item that they're going to need on a job site in order to work with it. So as far as the wear and tear, that was kind of part of the question. I don't ever hear of any kind of abnormal wear and tear that goes on with blades or whatnot that would be complaints coming from the installers. Naturally, you use a blade long enough, go through a couple houses, you're probably gonna have to switch it out, but nothing that would be abnormal or specialty item that they'd have to spend extra money on to work with our product.
I assume the installation's a little easier, and that you're not dealing with such a heavy product like the cement siding.
I was just going to get to that. One of the things that is really great about our product is just the fact it is so much lighter. It's about 33% of the weight of other hardboard products such as a fiber cement. In addition, you're able to carry the 6-packs that you saw of the actual lap siding over to the cut station. You keep it inside of there, and then you slide it over, and it's not pulling down your cut station. So you're keeping them all protected with a little bit of foam that's on there. And you want to cut these on the face. It does not do damage to cut these on the face.
Oh.
That ensures that you're not rubbing off any of that paint if you've got some uneven edges on your cut station. So there's a lot of little things that if anybody wants to reach out to Tim and I, that we can cover and or utilize our field tech or our paint people too. So we're here for any type of information you guys need.
The only other thing I'd add on to that, as far as the ease of use, and the fact that it's the 16 foot, I think, is a really big deal also. Now that we have the new ship stuff, I think that's something extremely unique out there to differentiate, but also just the links themselves versus many other products out there in the cladding realm are 12 foot. So typically, for homeowners, you see a lot of unsightly seams on the wall. I think we're going to have something that's going to be a lot cleaner when it comes to those seams, but when you have 33% less of them on the wall, that's a great advantage to talk about. So I think we have some unique things to really differentiate you when you're presenting this product to a homeowner.
Cool. All right, I think we'll call it. I don't see any other questions. So there's your contact information if people want to reach out to you guys. You're the first two on the list here. If someone calls you and they're not in this direct market, I'm assuming you could easily point them in the right direction to talk to people in their market. So
absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, awesome. Well, again, Neri, thanks you. And you have any comments you want to add?
No, just a big thank you to everybody for taking time out of the day. And during these crazy times, hopefully everybody's staying safe and we're all back at it quickly.
Yeah, I hear you. And it's kind of nice to have topics like this where it's not about everything else that's going on. It's, we can kind of live a little bit more normalcy in learning about how to craft, do our trade better. So again, I really appreciate you guys doing this. And again, Neri, Minnesota appreciates it. And again, those of you that are on the call from out of this area, thanks for joining us. And feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions too. I can also point you guys in the right direction.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a great day, everyone.
Yeah, go out and enjoy the rest of the day. It's a beauty. All right, see you later.